first thing we have to think about is where infinity is. So, for me, infinity just means it's a place beyond our comprehension. It's a gradual thing, but infinity, if you go all the way that way until we can't understand what's going on anymore, that's infinity. All the way that way is infinity. Infinity, like go forever, it's infinity. So 6 directions to infinity. And the 7th direction to infinity is coming back against those 6 directions. So you have a space like this. If I go this way to infinity, this way to infinity, this way to infinity, this way to infinity, you have 6 directions to infinity. And then you have halfway, and halfway again, halfway again. It just keeps getting halfway, but they never meet to infinity. So eventually, after an infinite long time, if you go halfway, 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 you end up in one of the other infinities. Comprehend it? So think of it this way. Everything outside that thing is infinity, and everything inside that thing is not infinity. As this gets bigger, infinity gets displaced. But when you think about it, this thing is really inside infinity. All of it. Because this thing is made up of little teeny things that look like this, but smaller. And in between those things, halfway, is infinity. So there's a balance point between infinity and halfway in between things that's also infinity. So think of this as a bunch of things floating through infinity, but all grouped together. And what this does, you're able to open up the space to infinity. So if I'm going halfway, 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 and it's so small that it just looks like a line, but really it's 2 lines going to infinity. Same thing here. You open up another one in the middle. That's bigger. And that one in the middle will pull things in. Like if you go into water, say I had a big sheet like this here, and another big sheet like this here, and I pulled them apart, that would cause air bubbles to appear, then all the water would go and try to fill it. Think of water and infinity as the same thing. So I'm going to open up the space, and more stuff will go in. So here's we draw the surface of this one here. That. And then we open up the space. To infinity. This is like a tornado. It's also the way little water tornadoes get made inside the water. If you spin the water around, it does the same thing. But what happens eventually is that all this stuff goes in. And it bumps into each other as it gets closer. And it bumps into each other and it has to start spiraling down and get even tighter into a spiral. And you'll see this whenever you flush a toilet. And eventually, as it comes down, it's so small that the particles of water even can't go through, and they have to break apart. Hydrogen and oxygen will separate, and the smaller pieces will go through. But when that happens, when things separate, they go, there's a little explosion here. The explosion has heat and light connected to it. The heat will come up this way and back out again. So the light will also come up this way and go back out again. So let's redraw this thing. So you have these opposing forces coming down. And then you have a force coming out of it. This is the light. These are demarcations along it where it can escape out or pull more stuff into it. If you were a submarine, this is in the ocean, you'd be sucked in around here. If you're in a sailboat on top, you'd be sucked in. This is the surface. The stuff going in. And one thing coming out. This is like a quasar in a black hole. So this is a big black hole version of it. This big swirling mass here. Quasar here. It's everywhere. And there's actually a beat that goes onto it because there's two opposing forces mixing with each other. So these things will start going up and down, and you'll have the famous caduceus, the wings, and the two snakes, and the bird, and the thing on top. I'm trying to draw that better. But that's the caduceus. It's also the caduceus, right? It's in everything. It's the way butterflies are made. It's the way birds are made. It's inside you. It's your collarbone. Collarbone goes like that, and it comes down on your sternum. There's your sternum, and behind your sternum is your heart. There's your upper lip. There's your nostrils. There's your eyebrows. There's your forehead. Eyeballs. Same thing, just repeated. So it's up here. See your neck and your head. It just repeats it again. So it's like a bigger version and a smaller version. This is your chest. You have your arms coming down like this. Your chest with the collarbones. Your ribs are these things here. Right? You have an opposite one here, shooting a belly button up. Belly button comes out of there. You have your hips. So this is just a force that's created by nature, and we're just part of that force. It's the opposite one. So if you follow it up, you have this force going up and up to your eyeball, into your ear, where it returns back into your head again. Up, eyeball, ear, and then back into your head. To your brain has the same shape. So when you do Qigong or Neigong, you actually try to tap into this force that's already there. There's no sense making your own force, you use one that's already there. Well, this part's kind of fun. When you take the ears, so just flip them around, so there's the back of the head here. Another one. You got another guy over here with his little head here. This part here comes down to here. Where's my phone?